Coach Gabe said that this week feels a little bit like a rivalry after what happened last year. Do you feel that same kind of energy?
Yeah, you know what? I obviously, Canisius isn't a team that we play every year, from a rivalry standpoint. But going there, and knowing how important that was for our season last year, and not getting the results that we wanted, yeah, it makes it more of a focus for us than ever. Obviously, we know how critical non-conference games are, and this is the start of our season that way. But I think leading into it, it's more about us trying to do the things we need to do to have success over a team like that versus the rivalry side of it. I think we had a good start against Manitoba. Now we have to try to get better in a lot of different areas getting into Canisius this weekend.
What did they do well last year?
They played they made it tough on, getting good looks at the net. They blocked a lot of shots. They played a physical brand of game. They played a heavier game, and we had possession of the puck a lot, but, I didn't think we got to the inside, I consistently and got the looks that we needed to get. So, they were an older team. They're a younger team this year. I think they have quite a few freshmen coming into their lineup this year. They have had some high turnover. So, they were an older, experienced team last year. So they played a good, sound, hard, heavy game against us that we didn't get a lot of inside looks at.
How much of a factor do you go back and talk about last year at all? Maybe some of the younger kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we have the beauty of it is a lot of guys are still here from last year, so they remember that. And the guys that came in is a handful of freshmen, and obviously Weston Machad, a grad transfer. But we've talked about it. We've done some video regarding it. And I think the one thing is we know what we have to do as far as the structural side of it. We just talked about that, but it's another thing to have commitment on doing it. When we talked about our season in a nutshell last year, it was finishing plays. We need to finish more plays. And I think, we talk about hitting nets, stopping at nets, playing out pucks, shorter shifts, all the different things that lead into it on a consistent basis. So, we talk about a little bit with Canisius, but also what we have to do in a game plan to do that.
What you talked about, improving on some things from Saturday night, like what?
Well, I think probably, we didn't play in our end of the rink a whole lot on Saturday night, but I think the details as far as D-zone coverage, I thought we broke pucks out okay, but there were situations in a game, whether our reads through the neutral zone, we gave up a couple of breakaways. The reads with our defensemen and our forwards on sorting pucks through the neutral zone and then coming into D-zone coverage. And I told our guys, we're going to be playing against heavy, harder competition that exponentially gets greater every weekend, that we have to focus on that. Really like to continue on with our pace of our play. Like I firmly believe that that's one thing that's really noticeable is the quickness of our transition of moving pucks and jumping up on the play with our defensemen. That has to keep going with our group too. And then just like I talked about with Brad here about playing on the inside, about owning the inside of the dots in all three zones, I think that has to be a staple of our game that we have to be better at and more consistent at.
And looking at your team play on Saturday, Weston Machad, he seems to be a guy that's around the net a lot.
Yep.
What will he bring to this program?
Well, I think it's that tenacity, that the relentless attitude, and I know we have a lot of players that are like that. But when you look at it, and you have some young players coming into your lineup, it's always nice to have an older guy with those traits to show how the young guys how to do it. And we have. He's got Shane Pinto on his line. That's a great example there of showing a young guy on how to do that. We have Harrison Blaisdell that's playing with Sendon and Smith. There's another group that translates that tenacity in our group. So, he brings a level, he pushes a bar to the highest level, whether that's in practice or in game. And again, that's a good thing. And again, I think just having that relentless, tenacious attitude is infectious.